Hey everybody, it's Marshmallow here. This is going to be my Arrow Season 5 Episode 17 review, and this episode is probably one of my favorites of the entire season. I haven't finished the season yet, just because 1, it's not over, and 2, I haven't gotten that far. I'm still trying to catch up on Arrow because I've been kind of neglecting it recently, just because of things getting busy during the middle of the week, which is when Arrow airs. So I'm getting back to it. I'm excited to talk about this episode because, again, it was one of my favorites. So let's get started. So this episode, there was a lot of Adrian Chase stuff. Artemis even made her return, and we're gonna talk about that because that made me really angry. We'll talk about that in a second. But this episode, I don't remember too much of it just because I only watched it once, and that was a while back. If I really love an episode, I'll watch it about 4 times. If I kind of like it, I'll watch it 2 to 3. But if I like this episode. Again, it's one of my favorites. It's just that I only watched it once because I didn't get around to watching it a second time. But I do like this episode, and I will be watching it again as soon as possible, because, again, it's one of my favorites. But I do love that the whole idea of the mission behind Prometheus. I think it's actually really excellent. If you guys don't know, Prometheus is a comic book character that's more involved with the Justice League than he is with Green Arrow. Arrow, the show, will actually pull a lot of villains from other, comic book heroes, except for Slade. Deathstroke's more of a Batman villain, but he has been known to be a Green Arrow villain before. Also a Teen Titans villain. I feel like Teen Titans is probably where I'd say people know him from the most. And then maybe, I think that younger fans will know him from Teen Titans the most. But anyway, point aside, Adrian's a really good villain for this season. So I'm glad they went with Prometheus. But back to the flashbacks, we're gonna get through those. I do like Kovar quite a bit as a villain. I like him as the flashback villain. The flashback villains are typically not as good as the main present day villains, but I do think it's really interesting that in this season, they're really tying the flashbacks in a lot better than I think the last couple seasons, especially because Malcolm Merlyn, the funny thing is that when he visited Kovar, he actually talked about and negotiated the earthquake machine that he uses in Season 1. So if you guys don't remember, to refresh your memory, in Season 1 at the end for the undertaking, Malcolm uses this earthquake machine with Moira, which was Oliver's mom, to take over Star City, which at that point was named Starling City. And then here, it looks like Kovar is the source of where the earthquake machine came from. So I don't know if they're going to be working in more references toward Malcolm Merlyn's undertaking, but who knows? Because apparently this is going to be the last season for flashbacks. I don't believe it, because Oliver still doesn't have the big crazy hair and the big beard. So I don't know where that comes in at, but 5 seasons mean 5 years, and that's how long Oliver was on the island, so I have no idea how they're going to pull that off. But really, this is all about Oliver. The flashbacks are really all about Oliver knowing of what kind of person he is and facing this darkness that he has. That's really what present day is about in this episode too, is about facing the darkness. And in the comics, Batman has been known to be a character where he is Batman. Batman is Batman. That's what Bruce Wayne, that's who Bruce is. And then the Bruce Wayne billionaire persona is the persona he puts on. Oliver's kind of the same way. He's a very dark person on his own, and the Oliver Queen mask is the mask he wears. So he really is the Green Arrow or Hood or whatever you want to call him. He is that persona. And he's been trying to change, but Prometheus breaks him in this episode and makes him realize you are this darkness. There's no going back from this darkness, and this crusade was an excuse to use that darkness. And I love that. I think it's really spectacular. This is a really great scene. Episode, but this scene here, the one where he actually breaks Oliver down, was a huge thing. I think it's spectacular. Again, one of my favorite episodes just because of this scene here. And I think that the actor who plays Adrian Chase delivered so well. Stephen Amell always delivers pretty well. This episode he did a lot better. But Adrian Chase, oh wow, the actor who plays him, mad props to you. But Adrian didn't just break him down that easily. He had to do a lot. He even put up pictures of the old people, like the old crime bosses, or criminals, whatever you want to say. He put up old pictures of criminals that Oliver has already killed off the list. Of course, we're not doing the list anymore. That kind of died out in Season 2? Maybe a little bit early in Season 3. But he even name drops Vertigo, and as you guys remember, Vertigo is the character that had this whole drug thing going on. I think Thea even took some. I don't even remember what season that was. I think it was season 2, but I'm not for sure. But he gets a hold of Felicity, which is actually really interesting. If you guys remember that episode and that shot right here. But Adrian actually breaks that down. He even uses his son. He's like, I will find your son, and I will kill him too. And then Oliver's like, you have no idea where he is. And he's like, oh, honey, I will find him. I mean, he doesn't say that, but that's what he's thinking in his mind, right? And then we talk about the most angry, like, this is the most angry I've ever been in an Arrow episode, next to Laurel's death. But I was so convinced. They got me. They got me with this. I was so convinced that Artemis was truly broken just as much as Oliver. I was convinced that she was going to be on Oliver's side. I was convinced that she was suicidal. But then, it was all a freaking act. Are you kidding me? Man. Whoever, I don't know her name either, the actress who plays Evelyn, but whoever plays her, she did a stunning job. She pulled it off so well that I have to say, she even did better than Stephen Amell in this episode. That's crazy, because Stephen did fantastic in this episode. But to see that this one her act was so great. It was so grand. It made me get chills. And it made me angry, because they actually got me with it. So, usually I would pick up on that quite easily, but they actually got me. But they broke Oliver in the end of the episode with him revealing that he did want to kill. He wanted to kill these people. Not because he needed to. And I thought that was actually fantastic. And then Prometheus even burns off his tattoo, which is also insane. It's like, that's the one right there, the Bratva tattoo. He actually burns it off. So I thought that was actually really cool. I guess that's a way of them not having to do as much makeup anymore for Steven's body, because Steven, of course, is shirtless a lot on the show, and they have to put all the tattoos on and all the scars and things, so I guess that's why they did that, to save time a little bit. But then they're going to have to do burn scars, so that doesn't really make sense. But then Oliver comes back, and he decides, no more Team Arrow, we're shutting it down, and he's going to find a different way to deal with Prometheus. Of course, basically, Oliver is talking about the Bratva, which we see in the next episode. We'll talk about that when it gets there, but it was insane to see that Oliver was that broken. It was breathtaking. And then Kovar has this weird tease. I don't like this. Kovar has this weird tease where he comes back as a zombie or something, or like, he was never dead, and he just like opens his eyes. That was weird. I didn't love it, but we'll see. What did you guys think of this episode? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Comment down below. And were you just as stunned as I was at this whole Oliver breaking down thing? Don't forget to scream this video out to the world by sharing it down below. We could always use some more viewers up in here. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Don't forget to subscribe. And as always, I will see you guys later for some more videos. Have a great day, and bye-bye.